Now this is just high level gameplay right here. And we can see there's another expansion set up for HayPro, and still yet to transfer some drones over here. We got our Terran player moving across the map, select, taking out creep tumors along the way. We're going to take out this expansion right here. And you know, really at this point, I don't think HayPro's too worried about it. You know, he's got all the income he really needs. You know, he's upset about losing that, I'm sure, but you know, in the long run, you know, that's the thing about Zerg, is he just expand everywhere, kind of recklessly, I would say, almost expand. And he needs some SCVs on this planetary fort to start repairing that before it burns down. Setting up tanks, he didn't want anything, he wanted finishing that bitch off. And as you can see, we're getting pretty close to, not quite, but there's a lot of SCVs for just a few mineral patches left here at the main. And a big Zerg army moving out here towards the middle of the map, swinging straight forward. This is a huge Zerg army. You know, and Banelings and Zerglings are one of your basic core units. These are tier 1 units you're seeing, and they're just getting annihilated by these 3 tanks right now. You got all the SCVs on auto repair, and you get the Banelings taking out all these Marines, and except for this handful is able to hold off, and you got a couple reinforcements coming in, gonna fend off these mutas. And that was pretty nice. That was real nice. You know, he held on to this expansion. That's what he wanted to do, and has enough units to come down here and start working on this expansion. Which there is a slew of spine crawlers down there. You know, he almost said, you know, I'm not gonna worry about defending this base too much. I'm just gonna put up spine crawlers and let them deal with it. Give myself some time to reinforce. And here come the reinforcements right now. And so, you know, he wanted to take out that base, and had those spine crawlers not been there, you know, he would have. But, so those spine crawlers, I would say almost, maybe he could have saved the day with those spine crawlers, but we need some more Marines down here, and here come the Marines. These guys are just such high level players. You know, it makes me envious, just really. And right now we're looking at, for select, at just under 100 supply and dwindling, while HayPro at 120, and they kind of moving up, is kind of on the upper foot here, you know, almost a 30 supply advantage at the moment. So, you know, he can almost sit back for just a second, kind of rekindle his thoughts and get ready for another attack. And you can see here, you know, those middle rocks have been taken out, really kind of leaving an opening into, you know, his production facilities. And here we got these Marines saying, shit, I need to get the fuck out of Dodge right now, get back to my tank line. Oh, we got a couple more barracks going up, and SCVs mining some good old minerals. That's never a bad thing. When you see SCVs on minerals, you know you're doing something right. That's what you want. You want to be mining minerals. You know, that's never a bad thing. We had a couple of tanks moving out here, and you know, I feel like I've been really focused on the Terran player. I mean, let's go back. Let's see if HayPro is doing anything out of the norm or teching up. And I mean, still sitting on get this Baneling nest, and the spire and his spawning pool. So, you know, it really put out 3 production facilities, and then everything else is just comes out of his hatcheries. And so that's so crazy for Zerg, and I think it's really important, like if you do drop back into a Zerg base or something like that, and you drop in and you take out, you know, 1 Baneling nest, well, you know, that ceases all Baneling production. If a Zerg runs in, oh, here we go, we got some Zerglings running into the main right here, taking care of a couple supply depots. I don't know how to get, was that a run by, or maybe I missed that. I don't know if there's a run by or possibly an overlord drop. We do have an overlord over here. No, they don't have load yet. So, and here we got some more mutas flying in, taking out some tanks, dodging some missile towers, getting ready to move over to the natural. They're gonna run into a couple. They're working on these rocks over here. We need a couple Marines over here to take care of that. These guys are on not attack move. And you know, things about mutas is they're so valuable. They're expensive units to get. It's why you see people, you know, that's why they're mainly for harass. They're an awesome harassment. So for straight up battles, unless they're in mass numbers, you know, mutas aren't the best air to ground unit you're gonna find. They're expensive and they're fragile. But they deal out the damage. They're mobile, and they're the most. Look, forcing a stem right there. There was absolutely not a single bullet fired from any one of these Marines, but somehow all of them last, a chunk of their health. And that's just what the mutas give you. And really, it's still almost anybody's game at this point, as Select is just, he's holding on really well. I mean, for all this harass that's been going on, he's just constantly moving out slowly but surely, sieging up towards, and we're closer and closer to this, I don't know if you want to call it a third expansion, because we actually took gold before, actually taking this third. And a handful of Marines coming in here working down it, looking down the hatch, and then they're going to back up as these mutas roll in. That's a lot of mutas. And a bunch of Marines roll in. And, it's just magnificent play that we're seeing here on both sides. We do get a couple of Marines that loaded up in a drop ship here, and a couple more get stemming in to take out the spine crawler. And here comes a big old army rushing in. Are they gonna pull back? No, they're committing. He's committed to this. He's gonna try and steamroll through as much of this as he can. And notice how he keeps a lot of his Marines towards the back. He just keeps those towards the back to avoid the baneling. And now engage with your missile turrets. Oh man, that's a lot of mutas. Really, this is when you reach a critical mass of mutas. And with an army like this of Marines, an amount of mutas that big is going to take out Marines easy. So really, he needs to mass up some more Marines. But he's going to have tough time dealing with all these mutas. These mutas are really going to start doing work. They're going to start taking out missile turrets, retreating, letting the Zerg army macro back up. And that's one thing. I've played a little bit of Zerg, and somehow I always forget to inject my larva. But you look at almost all of these hatcheries that have a queen around them, and they've all got larvae growing. That's just insanity. I don't know how these guys do it. I kind of want to take a look here. And making more drones. We see more drones popping out. Let's see. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 seconds after spawning a wall. I wasn't really paying attention to the mini-map, but I'm sure he's probably microing his butt off there too. While microing, and really I put it in the Zerg's favor. He's got that critical number of mutas, and he's taking out this tech lab, all these production facilities for the tank. Where he needs to get Marines out ASAP. That's the one thing he should be focused on, is getting Marines out to take care of all these mutas. These mutas are just gonna hamper him so much when it comes to the long-term game. I'd like the almost see. There we go. I was gonna say I'd like to see some drop harass. And indeed, we did have a drop going back here, but the effectiveness of that at this point in the game, um, it's almost nil. And we do see Select sieging up closer and closer, scanning and try and take out any creep to him with knocking off some drones. And he needs to pull these Marines back to his siege line. He needs to get sieged up pretty quickly here. A good chunk of his mutas went down, I would almost call that a bad. That was probably. I don't necessarily agree with that, because he can get so many Marines so quickly that, losing that many mutas right there was a bad engagement. Had he held on to those mutas and just backed out, and see, there you go. Honestly, I can't believe that just happened. I had it totally. I guess he did really mine the shit. I can't believe how much he really mined out of his map. He had no other mining basis. That is incredible. That he mined out. Both these players are essentially mined out almost the whole map. Well, like I said, uh, maybe if I do get some feedback on some of these games, and people do like my style of commentary or whatever, Um, I'll continue to cast and or anything along that nature, and I'm up for whatever. And if you see my replay and you have a cool game that you'd like to see maybe cast or something, you can go ahead and send it to me at I'll actually leave a link in the description below, but you can send it to where's my email? Sasquatch Starcraft. What is it? Sasquatch Starcraft at gmail.com. And I'll take a couple of replays of there, and if people do actually send me anything, yeah, I'll go ahead and cast it. And if you don't like my opinion on some of these games and the way that I've been casting them or whatever, then maybe I'll just stop, or maybe I'll do it for my own thing. Either way. And also, okay, so leave a comment in the section below, and if I tell me if I do kind of sound like a Sasquatch, because I'm a pretty big guy, and I've been called a Sasquatch many times before. So if I look like a Sasquatch, or if I sound like a Sasquatch, that'd be interesting to know. So if you think I sound like a Sasquatch, go ahead and say I sound like a Sasquatch. Or if you think I sound like a big faggot, you can put that down there too. I don't really care. Well, either way, dudes, I hope you enjoyed, what we saw from this game. It was, top tier level Zerg versus Terran, and I think we all should hope to kind of aspire at one point to reach a level where we can fully appreciate what these guys are actually doing, because, I love StarCraft, and there's just so many things you can do with it. It's such a great game. Um, on that note, I'm out, dudes. Peace.